Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and in a moment we're starting Broken Sword 4, the Angel of Death. Although, technically it's just called Broken Sword, the Angel of Death. Both Broken Sword 3, the Sleeping Dragon, which we just covered, and this game actually don't have numbers. And in fact, there's several things, as I'll go through these options and just show how the settings have been improved a little bit here. You go up to 1080p at 60 hertz. Oddly, 30 hertz is higher than 60 hertz in the setting for some reason. I don't know why. Anti-aliasing is now an option. Graphic details is on high. AMBX apparently I can't turn on. Subtitles will be on. I never really like when you change the language through a slider because I just don't know how you do that. Do you do it alphabetically? If that was true, then Deutsch should be before English, and Espanol should be somewhere closer to English than French and Italiano, but whatever. And that's the subtitles language, which is quite interesting for this 2006 game to have a subtitles language, and then over here on the sound have a different set of spoken languages. So you can have this game in French with English subtitles, or in Dutch with English subtitles, or any other language with subtitles. You have a very nice layout here with a master volume, speech volume, effects volume, music volume, and ambient volume. All of these start by default at 80%. I've lowered the sound down to 40% myself. But what's really weird, compared to the Sleeping Dragon, which was controllable by a controller, this game is back to point and clicks. However, at the end of the Sleeping Dragon, I said that this next game was going to be 2D graphics again. That actually doesn't happen until Broken Sword 5. I was wrong. I should have done some research. I should have been able to tell you, while covering the Sleeping Dragon, that it was made in 2003 and that it received highly critical acclaim, but which is quite odd because now in retrospect I think it's a pretty bad game when looking at it in 2017. And this game is was 2006, so 3 years later, which is odd because the difference between Broken Sword 2 and Broken Sword 3 was 6 years, and then they got into the habit of selling it every 3 years, except for then Broken Sword 5, I think, only was made a few years ago, like maybe 2 or 3. I don't think we need to do any more setup. There's some extras that you can click on here to go to web pages as far as links. This game was co-produced by Sumo Digital, which is this kind of helper company. There's a bunch of video game companies that help make other video games but aren't super famous for making any of their own IPs. So they just kind of get hired out to assist. And so Sumo Digital co-produced Revolution, so that they half and half did this. The credits, we'll look at those later. And the art is all unlocked by default. So we'll check that out at the end. So it doesn't look like there's actually any extras that are required to play the game. We're going to start here when I click New Game with a very nice looking, way better 3D graphics animation cutscene. However, remember in the Sleeping Dragon at the very beginning, that first cutscene did look pretty good, so it's going to look surprisingly good. But then after that initial cutscene, it goes to 3D modeling. The Sleeping Dragon was for a PlayStation 2 Xbox game, and that's right in the point where games were going 3D, and you can definitely tell it. This is 3 years later, makes some marvelous improvements. You're talking maybe 2 generations even of video cards have been upgraded. So this, I should have looked this up to see if this was a Xbox 360 game. It still would have been a PlayStation 2 game if that. No, I believe this game was only PC, is what I read I'll have to double check that, and I'll let you know maybe in the future. We're gonna watch this cutscene. I'm gonna go quiet, but you're going to see Moses chaining a girl to the Ark of the Covenant and killing her to summon the Angel of Death, and then using his staff to kill the Angel of Death. What any of that means, I don't know, but I figured we better cover it because they don't explain it very well. They also don't do subtitles in the cutscene either, which is a shame, because I always feel like subtitles, first and foremost, should be for people who are deaf. And deaf people need to see 100% of all of the sounds that are important. That includes sound effects, that includes dialogue and cutscenes. Anyways, that took too long to start. It always does. Let's begin. Loading to the cutscene.
Yahweh, show the people of Moses your power.
Notice that she moves right there. I don't know if that implies she's still alive or if that's just a mistake. He also said Yahweh for God. That's old Jewish, and that is what Moses would say. I assume that's Moses. It could have been somebody else with Moses' staff and the Ark of the Covenant, I suppose. So notice how now it's down way less quality graphics because it's in the engine of the game. But better graphics than the Sleeping Dragon.
Everyone in position.
Still very low polygon count on those ears and nose.
Hey, trust me, boss.
Hey, you know I do. Okay, boys.
It's playtime.
So yeah, during the time people were just committed to 3D. I would have preferred to see all the cutscenes animated like that first cutscene and then just play 2D sprites for the rest of the game.
What happened to the pizza?
Oh, sorry, Virgil. Pizza's off till we pay Mort that $20 we owe him.
What chance of that?
Hey, something smells nice.
You got a visitor.
Business?
I sure hope so.
Now this is weird because George Stobbart was a patent lawyer from Idaho, and now he's running a bail bondsman, and it makes no sense. Completely different type of law.
Can I help you?
There's
Mr.
civil
Stobbart?
and criminal.
That's me.
Thank God.
He wouldn't
I
have
thought you'd
even
never get-
studied it in college
It's that kind of neighborhood.
that much.
Please, Mr. Stobbart, I need your help.
Oh, you want a bail bond?
Oh no, not a bail bond. You see, there are some men. They're after me. They want to kill me. Oh, if they find me here, they'll probably want to kill you too. I have a manuscript, you see, and
Whoa, 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 whoa. Look, miss.
Anna Maria.
Anna Maria,
She's
this
got-
is a bail
they
bond
both have
agency.
some
I'm a
nice-
lawyer and you need the
Nice
police.
haircuts and hair
But there
animation.
isn't time.
Lady,
but it
in my
clips through his
experience, there is
shoulder.
always time.
That's a consistent problem even today, though, of hair particles clipping into models.
Now do you believe me?
Are those the guys that...
Yes, and if we don't get out of here.
So, we're still in 3D environment, but it's no longer through a controller. There's no controller support at all. We've lost that. You have point-and-click adventure. I have a bail bond ID. which I can look at
My bail bond ID.
with the right click and use with the left click. I have a PDA, which I can use with a right click or a left click, so I could call people, I can look at my notes, pay phone company, more pizza, insurance, and stationery. Let's go ahead and get out of that. Also in that animation when she shut the door, at least the first time I watched this while I was setting the audio, the door did not have a slamming sound effect. So there's been a problem with Nico's voice actor throughout the game.
Anna Maria. I never could resist helping a damsel in distress.
And Anna Marina, I think, might be their final solution to fixing this. We may not run into Nico at all. So we can click on things.
Telescopic 9-iron.
Because the voice actor has been different for the first 3 games of Broken Sword for Nico. While the voice actor for George Stobbart has been the same over and over. Now, I haven't noticed that, so they've done a decent job.
Please, Mr. Stobbart, we need to get out of here.
So that this may be their solution, is they'll just have a new character with a new voice actor, and Anna Maria may now be the love interest. Also, that kind of works because for 3 games now they've been pretending and implying that there's this love connection between Nico when it never really happens and never develops, and it seems like they're incapable of writing a romance.
I did use the safe. Nothing worth putting in it.
See, this is a picture from the previous games, I believe, and so is this. There's actually pictures of Broken Sword 2, I believe, all over here. So we need to open this door.
Nope, the padlock's never gonna break. But the bracket doesn't look up to much.
Now, the weird thing now is you click to move, but if you want to run, you have to roll the mouse wheel upward. So you click and then roll, which is a very awkward movement. It's not the mouse middle button, because I don't think most mice in this time had mouse middle buttons. And I could define it as something else, or I believe the control button will do it. No, there's a button, but I don't know what it is.
My trusty 9-iron.
So we'll use the 9-iron over here to break the bracket. So it's kind of unlikely we're going to run into the problem of the sleeping dragon with box puzzles.
Aren't you supposed to be good at this sort of thing?
No, not anymore. I gave it up.
Tell that to them.
Interesting.
You're right.
So what do we do now?
I'm working on it.
And that they're already arguing. So here, I just click on it and it pushes. It pushes it over even. And there's just a hole in the roof? Seriously? Why didn't you fix the hole in your roof? Or did that just happen? And you just click on it to get up. Now, fixing the problems with writing Nico and George solves one thing.
Can we get out through here?
I don't know. You want to go back down?
Are you crazy?
Exactly.
Well, I don't think we're going to have it to ourselves for long.
What did you do to those guys?
I have a manuscript. They want it.
Let me guess. It ain't poetry.
It contains the secret location of a priceless treasure.
Oh, terrific. I should have known.
It's been in my family for years.
Odd
I started to
angle,
decode
but
it,
kind of
drew too much
cinematic.
attention to myself, and now this.
Well, thanks for asking me along. Really appreciate it.
So where are we?
I don't know. I've never been up here before.
That's the elevator.
Weird. I wonder who could be...
Are you crazy? The bad guys, that's who. I can't hold this forever, George.
So we've got to do a puzzle here. The other issue, though, let's see. There was a power plug over here. Can we just turn off the power? Like, come on.
All the fuses have been removed. Shame the elevator power doesn't run from this circuit.
Okay, well then, how about this piece of metal here? Nope, doesn't seem like I can click on that. Then we gotta go find a box. The other issue is the sleeping dragon. Because it's not named, you kind of have this argument you could make. Maybe I'm supposed to just use my 9 iron on it. Maybe that's the trick. In the sleeping dragon,
That should hold it.
George.
The old Stobbart club has a locking device.
Thanks. That was a good idea.
Yeah, clever, huh?
Sorry, I'm losing my track of thought here as I'm playing. George, at the end of that game, basically became King Arthur. He got Excalibur. He defeated a dragon. He was said to have magical powers, and that's why he could pick up the Key of Solomon. It really turned George from being this everyday Joe into this
Fuses have been removed.
just like completely unrealistic, unrelatable character. So we've got a grate over here, and we've got a thing over here, and I don't think we're gonna just die if we go down. But I'm also having trouble walking downward. I'm having to hold down the controller to go downward.
Hey, Silvio! Help me get this door open!
Uh-oh. I don't think this is such a great idea.
There must be another way out.
Let's hope so.
So we went down here just to see a cutscene. We're still having issues with the camera in 3D. Even today, people still haven't quite figured it out, but they've done a lot better jobs than what we've had before, what we've had in the past. And he's just kind of walking off in the wrong direction. I can't lock this door, so forget that. So there's far in this corner where you can barely even see it, an air conditioner exhaust vent.
This thing isn't coming off in a hurry.
Can't I go out the windows? No, they're all boarded up. And let's see if we can use her with that air conditioner vent. Maybe both of us can push it together. So
Quick,
by
give me a hand
them
with this grill.
not
Sure.
naming number 3 as a numbered thing, you can possibly maybe do some mental gymnastics and say, well, maybe it's a side story that doesn't really happen. Maybe every time George and Nico get together, it's an alternate storytelling. Kind of like how the James Bond stories, you don't particularly have to assume that the same James Bond character did every single action in every single movie, since it's not numbered. But if you're not willing to accept that, then you're definitely going to have some problems. We are getting box puzzles, unfortunately. This is a shame. So I guess I have to right click and then maybe move this way. Maybe move this way and then click on it from this face. Alright, and I'm thinking I want to push this that way.
That should stop anyone from calling the elevator.
And then take back my 9 iron, which is seeming like it's going to be something that we use throughout the rest of the game. And then can we crawl through this?
Come on, we can get out this way.
That may have been an extra action that wasn't even necessary. So here we've got the guy kicking, and over here we've got this. And the resolution and the textures of this outside area and the detail of this outside area also looks significantly better in the 3 years time. It's like, this looks pretty good. The 3D people don't look that good still by 2017 standards, but if you made a game with this wall today, you wouldn't complain too much about it. You might say it's not as detailed as you would like, but not really too much. The curvature on the street lamp is a little low polygon. It doesn't look like a smooth curve as much as it looks like a few long segments that have been put together. So then the question is, do I want to go upwards or downwards? As I'm struggling to walk up the ladder. I guess I want to go upwards. There's some pigeons. Let's go harass the pigeons. The AI of Anne-Marie seems to be better than before, because they're not... she's not trying to follow me very closely. She's just waiting and seeing what's happening. So I can't climb up here.
Damn thing is rusted shut.
So we had a major problem in Broken Sword 3 in the Sleeping Dragon of doors simply being placed all over the place for no good reason.
It's firmly attached to the roof.
So that's not what we need to do either. I'm kind of glad that's not what we need to do, because I don't want to end up doing a massive amount of... What is this thing? It seems like it's a moving platform on top of a building. Why would you have moving platforms on top of a building? Is this for window cleaners? Do you attach a window cleaning rig to this and then move it around? That wouldn't make much sense. You can see he's stumbling to get to the thing I clicked.
The handle's well and truly rusted. No way am I going to be able to turn it.
And so if he responds like that, I'm assuming that's the exact truth.
Damn. The handle's been welded to its base.
And one assumes we can't just jump. George has not been known for his actions, which only made that final boss fight in Sleeping Dragon make even less sense, particularly for a point-click adventure. So she just kind of teleported here. We didn't have to do anything. So we have a rusted area, and my only thought is we come up here, try this on that. Because I think that's what we're supposed to do.
Quite right.
Try Anne-Marie on this.
That won't work here.
Alright, let's try this on this one.
That's not quite right.
And then Anne-Marie on this one.
Using that won't work.
Maybe I could use Anne-Marie on the ladder? Give her a boost up? Nope. Let's see, I can't do anything with her. So I'm starting to think maybe I was supposed to go down. on we go. And no, that doesn't seem right. I'm trying my very best to click on that and it's not working. Where going up is working pretty well. I don't particularly remember playing this game. In fact, I may never have. And for that reason, I may be slightly more frustrated with this game than the previous ones. And I may also... This game feels like it very possibly is going to be a mix of solutions and problems from the previous game.
It's not gonna move. It's bolted firmly to the roof.
And there's nothing over here. And see, just not even having an understanding why something like this would exist is a problem. What's this? It's got something. A chain.
Damn, I can't quite reach it.
So, we've got a chain that like, is it some kind of hoist system or? I don't even see the chain.
The chain's just too far to reach. The handle's been welded down. Some safety inspector's been at work here. I hate safety inspectors.
So let's go back up and see if we can use the... Well, before we go back up, let's see if we can use the golf club with the chain that I can barely even see. It's just one little pixel. That's part of the problem of playing a game at a higher resolution than it was intended.
I'll find a way to get you across.
So now I'm hoping that this variant isn't rusted and therefore I can spin it. He's walking around things.
It's turning. Nothing's happening. The sprocket must be broken.
Well, let's hope this one works then. We have no idea about anything in the story, and we may very well run into Nico. That is still totally a possibility.
Okay, Anna Maria, you can cross the alley on the joists.
Is that what those are called? Joists? Wow.
Thanks, George. Now let's make sure they can't follow us.
The way that was animated, it looked like they just... She jumped.
That's what I was gonna do.
Come on. You won't hold them off for long.
Is Anna Maria supposed to be the female version of George? Everything he likes in himself, he'll see in her?
You know what?
Maybe that is the way they're doing it.
I underestimated you.
Why did
A
the
lot of
door
people make
shut
that
by
mistake.
itself?
So, are you for hire?
Depends on the deal.
10,000 up front, 10,000 when you decode the manuscript.
I'm for hire. Just one question. Why me?
The manuscript is covered in medieval symbols, and you do medieval, don't you?
Sure, I do medieval. I even do medieval under fire.
You won't regret it, Mr. Stobbart.
Please, call me George.
Okay, George. But tell me, how are we gonna get out of here?
Trust me, we'll find a way.
It would have been really fun if he said, "Please call me George," and then immediately she changed his name to like Georgie. That's about the only nickname I think you could probably do with George. It's the reason, of course, is that that's pretty much exactly what he did with Nicole. She said her name was Nicole, and he immediately changed it to Nico without, as far as I recall, asking or getting any approval. So that apparently turned on some circuit breaker. And that would be kind of funny. There's a problem with just a standard cursor pointer. They could have done something a little bit better, but whatever. I kind of wish that as just a nice touch, the cursor would disappear as you're holding it down, and because when you're usually moving with a cursor like that, it's relative actions anyways, so it doesn't matter if I'm up here or down here. It doesn't matter as long as it's on the left side of the screen. It's good enough. Well, from the way she at least seemed to jump down from the ladder portion, if not halfway across the gap over there on that thing. What, was I supposed to do something with this door? Man. He's stuck. Come on. Game. Let's try that. Interesting. Interesting. So I've clicked on the door, and the game has decided that this would be the perfect time to get stuck. And let's see, what was the controller to make something run? Left control. I hit the right control. So and the game isn't like frozen or anything. He's just like stuck there. And I can't save right now. Seriously. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. There's nothing I can do. I'm gonna have to play the whole game up to this point again. I'm gonna have to play the entire game from the very beginning up to this point because of this glitch. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. The only thing I could think is to quit. Unsaved data will be lost. Load. Can't load anything. There's been no auto saves. There's been nothing. There's no checkpoint. There's nothing. And it's just stuck here. It's just totally stuck. And I can't break it out of that action. Like, no middle click, no mouse wheel, no right click, no up, left click. The cursor is totally off the screen. It is in an infinite loop. I have to applaud this infinite loop. Usually games will crash or have some kind of test for this. This is just programmed to keep on going. Oh, this is awful. This is awful. Well, I'm going to have to play the whole game off screen like this. That's going to be it for this recording. I'll start back here and hopefully I'll save at some point. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.